Tesla, one of the really top popular US stocks that I get asked quite often on. How is it looking right now? Is it time to buy? Is it time to be cautious? How is the trend looking like? What are the targets? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier minds here, trader in Selloff Securities, and in this video I'll be diving into the charts of Tesla, and I will even look at the system that I have to see what it says, if there are any bullish or maybe even bearish signals that have came out over the past few months. So if you want to know what is Tesla doing, is it time to buy, is it time to hold, to sell, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm sure you'll be much clearer after watching this video, right? So let's dive into the chart of Tesla right now, and if you like this video guys, go ahead to give me a like or subscribe as well. That will really help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing this. So let's dive into Tesla right now to see where we are. Okay, so this is Tesla at about $253 just last night. So let's see what are we doing right now in terms of the trend, right? So you can see that for Tesla, we have been pretty much in a downtrend since last year. Like many of those tech stocks, they have sold off due to rate hikes and inflationary pressure. So we can also draw what we call a downward sloping channel resistance line connecting the high. So it's been forming what we call lower highs since last year, whereby we touched, we sold off, and finally somewhere around like May or April, we managed to break above this downward sloping channel resistance line. So there are indeed some signs of the trend just starting to form up, not just like last week or last month, but since like April and May, there were some signs of the trend really starting to point up. All right, so let's take a look at the moving averages as well. So you can see that since last year, when we look at the trend, we can look at what we call the moving averages. So since last year, when it was a bit of a downtrend, the 100 days moving average has crossed down below the blue line, the 200 days moving average. So a bit of a downtrend since last year, forming what we call lower highs and even lower lows right up here. And we form a bottom somewhere at the beginning of the year. All right, so that was pretty much the bottom somewhere in January 2023. And after that, the bottom or the support actually got a little bit higher from here all the way to around that 160, whereby we form a higher support level. So this is where there are some signs of strength as well, coming back, not just a trend reversal, but in terms of buyers actually coming back to buy at higher prices. And also in terms of the moving averages, right, finally somewhere around like May or June, right, we have seen the 100 days moving average line, the red line cross back above the blue line. So that would put it into what we call a mid to long term uptrend, whereby the trend has kind of like reversed from down since May, April last year, all the way to April, May this year. It has started to just point up, right? So this is Tesla right here, a pretty good, I would say, long-term uptrend, but it doesn't mean that a good long-term uptrend means we cannot see selling in the short term. We can also see selling coming back in the short term as we head to what we call key resistance level, whereby selling pressure can come back again. So what are those key levels whereby we are seeing selling? Let me just go to draw this resistance level for you right here. I think that would be around that $300. First of all, 300 is a psychological resistance level. We were here somewhere in July and we sold off. But what about a good support level? Well, somewhere around here, the $220. So 220 seems like a pretty good support level, whereby we have been consolidating over the past like 3 months. So let me just draw it for you right here. You can see that 220 was actually a very key resistance level, right? Since beginning of the year, we touched, came down, we neared it, came back down, and somewhere around June, when we broke above the 220, great, we started to see that reversal all the way to 300. We came back down, retested, got a pretty good bullish candle, and swing up again, and now we are pretty much back here. So I would say that the range for this stock would be about 220, all right, 220, maybe all the way up to $300. In fact, I think not 220. In fact, we are seeing some higher support, slightly higher, maybe over the past like 1-2 months, somewhere around that $240. It seems that buyers are starting to come back up a little bit, right? Over the past 1 month or so, you can see started to see a bit of a rebound. So about 240 to 220, I think that's where some good bargain hunting can come back for Tesla again. And as long as we stay above this 220, 240, I would say that the longer term uptrend still remains intact, right? We might just be in this range, and hopefully we break 300, and that's where potentially we might hit maybe all the way up to retest the previous high we have seen last year, and that would be maybe around that 400 level. Yeah, not straight away 400, maybe to like about 350, but 400 would be critical. You can see that was where we touched many times in 2021, 2022, and we sold off, right? So that is around the 400 level. But first of all, all right, 300 would be key. That is the near-term psychological resistance level whereby some selling can come back again. So if you kind of like hit to that level, you can also consider taking some profit, because that's where we can see some profit taking as well. All right, so that is Tesla based on how I analyze it on the charts, right? But how does it look like on my system that I have called 1GT, one good trend system, that kind of like guides us on entry and exit and alerts us to companies or stocks like this. So for Tesla, we actually had a couple of bearish and even bullish signals coming out over the past 1-2 years. So let's take a look at it right now. And guys, if you like this video, go ahead to give me a like and smash the subscribe button as well. That will really help out the channel. And thank you so much for doing this, right? So let's take a look at Tesla right here. And you can see that since last year, right, as I mentioned, the trend was pretty much down. We had what we call a red trend bar, and we had a couple of bearish signals coming out as well. Look at this. This is a red arrow down, right? Not so good. We traded from like about 300 all the way down to about $110. So a couple of red bearish signal right here. Sold off, another red bearish signal, sold all the way down, got an exit. And over the past few months, that was where there were some signs of the trend starting to turn up, as I mentioned, and bullish signals started to come back as well, right? So you can see, right, this was in somewhere in May, right? So yeah, another bullish signal went up a little bit, a bit of selling. And I think in May, right, in 5th of May, we got this really good bullish signal, and you can see it started to push up from like about $150 to 253, got an exit, another exit, sold off a little bit. So as I mentioned, right, in the short term, even though the longer term trend is up, we can also see selling in the short term. So if you see like some signs of short term weakness, or especially if it hits to those key resistance level whereby selling has came back many times over the past few months or years, that's where you can also consider locking in some profits, because we can also see a short term reversal or retracement back down. All right, so you can see for Tesla, right, we kind of like sold off, but then as we sold off to certain support, all right, another bullish signals came back, so pick up all the way up again. And this is where we are right now. Just most recently, we got a bullish signal on the 4th of October, all right, whereby there are no exits yet, right? No exits yet. So as I mentioned, right, anything above like 220 or maybe even 240, all right, that is where we are seeing some good support. If we can hold above these levels, I would say these bullish signals will continue to play out. We might maybe push up to near 300. We might see an exit there, or if we even break the $300 level, great. That's where we can push a little bit higher, and then we might hit to another resistance whereby an exit signal can guide us to get out as well, right? So this Tesla on my 1GT system looks quite good. The bar is green in color, so pretty much an uptrend like what I mentioned just now. We got the bullish signals, there are no exits, so as long as we stay above those support level, I think we are pretty much good to go in the longer term uptrend, whereby it is still intact. All right, so we have found a little bit more, guys, on this system, or pretty much the strategy, or the one good trend strategy behind the system. You can attend one of those free web class that we're still running. All right, I'll place the link below this video around it. Click on the link to register for this web class, where I'll share with you a bit more on the entire strategy, right? So I don't have time to share much in this short video, but in this web class that's about 2 hours long, that's where we'll dive deep into the strategy. All right, and I'll share with you how we're going to pick winning stocks that are along the trend, and even if we pick them, how do we know when to get in and when to get out, so, and how a system can also help you be more systematic and also keep things much more simpler. Alright, so Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have gained some idea on where we are right now for Tesla, and look forward to see you in the next video and in this live web class that's coming up. Bye for now.